Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Founder's Story. Self-promotion is massive. It's something that everyone needs to be doing, building up your personal brand. People want to be speaking. They want to write a book. If you're not self-promoting, how can you do that? That's why today we have Sheena Yap Chan. She's a Wall Street Journal bestselling author, keynote speaker, consultant, and award-winning podcaster on leadership and self-confidence. Sheena, welcome to the show.
Hey, Daniel, thanks so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here today.
I can't wait to dive into this topic because I know women specifically have had a hard time with self-promotion. But before we do, what was it that made you say, I want to go from having this corporate job or this job to then being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I had an office job for 12 years. I always knew there was something out there that was more for me. And of course, I was told that the American dream is having a 9 to 5 job and working there till you're 60, but I couldn't see that for myself. And about 10 to 12, no, about 13 years ago, my aunt passed away from a horrific accident. And that's what really made me open my eyes and realize I need to go out there and forge my own path, do my own thing, because I didn't want to leave this earth without any regrets. I didn't want to be like, oh, what if I did this? I'd rather just do it, fail forward, and at least I know that I at least went out there and made it happen, regardless of the circumstances. So it was scary, of course, especially when you've been told to live a stable life, just expect something all the time. And so leaving that from going into the unknown was a huge leap, but I'm grateful to be here today.
I know that feeling, right? When you leave the comfort of knowing everything to entrepreneurship, which is like nothing of the future, it can be scary, but in the end, very rewarding. And congrats, on all the things that you've been able to do. Let's dive into why is it that women specifically have a hard time with self-promotion?
Yeah, that's a great question. As women, we've been taught that self promotion is seen as tacky, as icky, as not ladylike. And so, because of that, we don't go out there and promote ourselves. And also, women have lower self esteem, right? If you see, there's more men in leadership roles than women, because part of that is, we're afraid to go out there to get those positions, or we feel like we're not good enough, right? Like there's a huge confidence gap between men and women. So if a man and a woman went for a promotion, the woman would be 110% ready, but still something holds them back, while a man would be like 30% ready and he's just going to go for it regardless of the outcome, right? And this is why for me, self promotion is empowering, right? It's important to show up, take space, exist loudly. It's important to show what we're capable of. And it doesn't matter if we have haters, because we're always going to have haters. There's always that one person who's going to tell you you're not good enough or tell you you're too much. But this is why we need to push forward and show up and promote ourselves, because we have something that is amazing, whether it's a product or a service that can create a positive impact on someone's life. So why wouldn't we share it, right? If we're not sharing it, we're actually doing a disservice to all the people out there who might need your product and service. So for me, self promotion is empowering. You look at the Barbie movie, right? Last summer, we couldn't go out, without looking the color pink. The color pink was everywhere. Every single company in the world collaborated with them. There was even a Barbie Xbox, right? A Barbie themed Xbox. And because of their marketing and self promotion, it became the first movie to hit $1 billion that was directed by a woman. And it's, breaking history. It's opening doors for so many other women out there to realize they can also produce a movie that can make $1 billion and beyond. So this is why, for me, self-promotion is so important, especially for women, because it builds them confidence. It helps them become a leader. It helps them be seen and visible and be able to make a living for themselves, right? If you're hiding from the internet, or you're hiding from the world, how do you expect to sell products and services out there if you're not putting yourself out there? And, if you want people to take you seriously, it really has to start with yourself. So that's why for me, self-promotion is so important.
So I don't see a lot of women who are publicly facing, talking about business, like let's say Tony Robbins, from a speaker's perspective, or there's a bunch of people that are really well known in terms of like business on social media. Do you think if women are more open to self-promotion, we'll see more women out there speaking? And the reason why I bring that up is it'll help inspire other women to be the same. I think when you see somebody out there like, oh my gosh, Sheena, she's really putting herself out there. I could be like Sheena. Do you think that'll empower and inspire next generations to put themselves out there if more women are on social media talking about business, speaking in different places talking about business?
Most definitely. I believe representation matters. It's important to see women out there who are making things happen, who are sharing their achievements, who are sharing their milestones, because it shows others what's possible, right? We can relate to them. We can relate to a woman who's been there, who's been through the lowest parts of their life and be able to come out of it. Or even a single mother who started a multi-million dollar business, right? These are the stories that we want to hear. These are the women that we want to see, women who just went out there regardless of the circumstances, right? If we keep seeing more and more women show up, promote themselves, put themselves out there, it just creates this domino effect of more women showing up. And so this is why it's so important for me to put myself out there. In all honesty, I don't like promoting myself either. I think it's uncomfortable, right? But I also do it because there's other women who need to see that it's okay to promote yourself. Like, it's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to share your achievements. It's okay to share your products and services, so that I see, every time I put myself out there, there's more women who are inspired and they start showing up for themselves as well. So yes, for me, it is important to have more women, more representation, because it does create that domino effect that more and more women or little girls can see themselves.
So I know you have a book, The Tao of Self Confidence. If people read that book, what's one or two lessons that you hope that they take away from that book?
For my book, it's really important to work through your traumas, right? We all go through some form of trauma, and especially in our culture, we're told to hide our traumas. And it's really important to work through it, because especially if you want to be a leader in your field, sometimes that trauma is holding you back from really being the best person that you can be. So it's really important. Sometimes we're not even aware that we have trauma. Sometimes we don't realize we're carrying the traumas of our ancestors or our parents or grandparents. And so it's really important to find ways to be aware of it, find ways to heal through it, through work through it, so that this is not the thing that's holding you back. I know the pandemic was tough for everybody, right? And then even going back to normal life after the pandemic is still not as easy, right? There's a lot of people going through a mental health crisis. And so this is why it's important. We need to work through these traumas, find the right resources to help us work through it so we can show up as our best self. So the book is just, a guide, a beginner's guide to just kind of, show you how to get there.
No, that's amazing. I think we haven't really looked back 4 years ago and really dealt with a lot of the things. We've just tried to move forward, but that could, it's going to manifest itself into all these negative things in our future. So I appreciate that. If people want to read the book and they want to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for anyone watching this, you can actually pick up the book at any Barnes and Noble locations. You can also get on Amazon. If you'd like to connect with me, you can check out my website, sheenayapchan.com. I have a free quiz to unlock your self-confidence personality. And you can follow me on all social media platforms. And if you forgot anything that I mentioned, I am the only Sheena Yap Chan on the internet. So if you Google my name, you can see me.
Excellent. Google Sheena Yap Chan and you will be there. But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for empowering women in self-promotion and impacting the world.
Thank you.